Well, you had alluded earlier on that the president has said that politicians add more to insecurity, and another governor has also said the same thing. I tend to agree with both of them, and the kinds of politicians that do that are politicians that are professional politicians. There's a difference between professional politicians and professionals in politics. Professional politicians solely depend on politics to make a living, and so they resort to whatever means necessary, because that's the only way they can make a living. And in doing so, they end up looking for vulnerable youths that can be used against political opponents because of their insatiable appetite for power. In other words, when a politician is a professional politician, he has an insatiable appetite for power. He wants power at all cost, because there is no other way for him to make a living. And so it becomes a danger, and he uses whatever tool he can. And because there's poverty in the land, because the government is not doing good when it comes to our economy, and we all know that. So the vulnerables are the youth. They leave school, they don't have jobs. Even the ones that don't go to school are not trained for jobs, but they must feed themselves. And so when these professional politicians reach out to them, because of their vulnerability, they allow themselves to be used. And that is why we have a lot of lawlessness, we have a lot of issues of violence, we have a lot of issues of kidnapping, and everything that is endemic that happens in the nation. Most of it comes from youths that are being used for this purpose. Until we get to a point where, as a country, we set up a guideline that all we will have will be professionals in politics, people that have their own means of living. If you go to America, you find out that most of the politicians, they have a means of living. Senate only meets so many times. They go back to their business. It's not full time. It's only here that you see that they sit down there in chamber over and over and over again. So until Nigeria departs from that, so that people who have something going for themselves, people who have a means of livelihood, are the ones that are encouraged to get in politics. Those people will now start to mentor the youth. Now, there's an old saying: if you give a child a fish, you feed that child for one day. But if you teach a child how to fish, you feed that child for a lifetime. So what we need are politicians that will feed these children for a lifetime, mentor them, teach them, and do whatever they need to do to sustain themselves, so they become independent. So they will not be vulnerable to being used anymore by professional politicians. That professional politician has an objective, and that objective has to do with power at all costs. That he thinks will bring in money. All right. So he will use whatever divisive measure he wants to use to divert the attention of the security agencies from what he's doing, so he can achieve what he needs to achieve. Unfortunately, the youths are the ones that are the victims at the end of the day. So we must have a policy as a nation. We must have a background check, a thorough one, on anybody coming into politics. We must know what they have done. All right? And if you see a record that says politics, year in, year out politics, what do you do for a living? They can't give you anything. Show me what you are doing. They can't show you anything. But they have a name. Then you know those are professional politicians. And it's really laziness. It's laziness. Everybody look at it and okay, it's a national cake. Let all of us go and get what we need to get from the national cake. As opposed to having your own business, developing yourself, being able to be dependent on what you do with your hand, as opposed to what comes from government. Government is supposed to use those monies to develop. But government can't develop with those monies because politicians are paying from that money. The role of government, number one, is security of lives and property. And if government is not able to do that anymore, then it becomes self-help because people must survive. So if government that's supposed to provide that security can no longer provide it, people will have to say, I want to help myself. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to get killed. And if government is not protecting me, I will need to do something for self-survival. So really and truly, what we need is a very sensitive government in place. What we need is a government that have the people first. It's all about the people, not the politicians. Okay? But that is what democracy is all about. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. But democracy is not like that. It's only government for a few. Alright? So a government that is purposeful will say the legacy I want to leave is how can I make the lives of people better? How can I improve the standard of living of people? And that means whoever is living must have milk of human kindness. If you don't have milk of human kindness, you have no business in government because it's about the people. They must come first. You are to serve them. You are a servant to serve them, and your joy comes from their happiness. You can say I have achieved when you see that the people that you are serving are happy, and so that's the society that we need. That is a democratic system that we need, and I believe we'll get there.
So the best thing Nigeria can, or a federal government can do to salvage the situations of the insecurity in Nigeria is to ensure that within the security sectors or within the security architectures, what they need to do is to work more harder. The major challenge as the person that I see, or my personal opinion, when it comes to the issue of security, the security themselves are not well funded. And that one also contributes a lot to security issue. Let me give you an instance. You have a police station in Bega, and probably you have 5 policemen inside, and you give them a car that there is no single fuel. The police have to raise money to buy fuel themselves, and there is incident maybe somewhere in Utako, and that police have to be controlled from this place. By the time you now call the policemen here that there is emergency there, they will not be able to respond accurate time. That is one. Secondly, when the security itself were not well equipped with the right weapon, and the armed people, the banditry or whatsoever who are causing mayhem in the country are well equipped, even more than the security themselves, how would they be able to go there? I've had a series of incidents where some people will call the police. They say police will start asking, okay, what kind of gun, what kind of rifle are they holding? Why are they asking that? Because you cannot hold AK47, maybe probably with a 48 ram, and you want to go and face somebody with a magazine, a machine gun. You will not be able to go there. And the reason why they will not also go there, or the security issue, is that you look at it, most of our security men have been abandoned. And why if you have been abandoned, you will discover that you will not have that kind of courage to say, okay, you want to go and put your life 100% at risk, because when you go, your life has gone, and your family who is going to take care of. Everything is just gone. You know? So for that reason, what the government needs to do is to ensure they take care of the security very well, restructure the security architectures of Nigeria so that Nigeria can have peace. That is the only way me I look at it. Well, as for me, the welfare of Nigeria police are not well taken care of at all. And if federal government wants to look at that aspect, they need to do something fast as soon as possible. A lot of other organizations have been raising issues of police funding to ensure that police do what they need to do. But still, the government of the day, I see that they are not still taking care of the police. And that is the reason why the police is backward. If you compare the Nigerian police to other police of the Western world, you discover that the Nigerian police are backward in everything. Nigerian police are backward, and they need to do something and do something fast. And that is the reason why even in Nigerian police itself, you see that yes, sometimes there are corruptions within one or two of the officers. Because I have a very terrible experience with the police. So when you ask police, is he a friend? I was thinking you're going to ask me that, is he police is a friend? I could have answered that. But since you did not ask me to that aspect, I will not going to respond to that because I have a terrible experience with the police. But I also know police is also good anyway. They are also trying their best. But well, the issue of training, there is one thing in life. Once you are being trained, there is need for constant retrainings of the personnel, which Nigerian police also need to emphasize on that, on how their men will be going to a constant retraining process on how to meet up with the current challenges at hand. But when you compare to other organizations, I believe, or I can say, Nigerian police are not well retrained. But from the first years, they try at the college. But there is need for them to go for retraining to enable them meet the new trend of challenges in the country. That is the only way forward.